Glowman Auto just keeps releasing more and more shit.
So this week, as we go through Glowman's Facebook,
Oh man, oh man, oh man, not again.
okay, ready?
Oh
Sure.
man. Oh man,
Wait,
not again.
One more thing, sorry, I'm gonna go get my phone charger because I need it to be full.
Just start
before I
it.
leave.
Just fucking start it. Eddie, just start it.
We're starting.
Actually, start it, please.
This chicken's raw. Okay, we're gonna start. We're gonna start. 3, 2, 1. How's it going, everybody? This is Eddie with Player 2 Gaming with the second episode of Player 2 Talk, here with Ethan.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
And back again, Chris. So happy.
Hey guys, what's up? How's it going?
So happy. Okay, and Jordan's marinating chicken. Oh, there he is. Jay, we already started.
It's Gordon
Just
Ramsay in the
hi.
flesh.
That's alright.
Okay. So we have a lot to talk about this week. Some cool things happened this week, actually. So I'm excited. I've been looking forward to it. Before we get started, Chris, I don't know if you saw last week's episode, but we talked kind of about where we come from in terms of gaming and why we game and, you know, all that good stuff. So if you just want to give us like a quick, who are you? Why are you here? Where did you start gaming?
Well, hi, I'm Chris. I'm here mainly because Eddie asked me to be.
Why are you here?
That's not cool, I
Why
guess.
are you here?
Good. How I got into gaming, gaming's always been a really big part of my life. Growing up, I always had my really older brothers, and they never want to hang out with me. So the only way I could really like find anything to do was to play video games. Video games like were my friend. They were my way of like finding something entertaining. And overall, like I can't get into other forms of media like reading or movies. Like they don't grab me as much as video games. So even as I gotten older, they've never lost that magic touch for me. So I've just always been passionately following video games and still continue to play them to this day.
Damn, that's a lot better than what we said.
That's tugging at the old heartstrings there.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, I started on PS2.
I started back in the day with my Game Boy Color, the Pokemon Edition,
Hey, that's
and
what I said.
64 was my
No, I didn't have the color. I had the GBA.
Eddie.
What?
Ed. Unrelated, but new Run the Jewels, by the way.
Oh, really?
I'm linking you.
Whoa,
Anyways,
what? Ethan likes hip hop. Can you guys tell?
we're gonna do a music segment now.
Yeah, we'll do the hip hop head segment.
All right.
Okay, but no, we got a lot of good topics. So we're gonna start with one that actually just came up today, just a few hours ago. I'm gonna be reading off the Polygon article about it, but there's several articles about it. I'll put this article link in the description. Earlier today, Ubisoft put up a random live stream on their YouTube channel, and it showed like a kind of like a weird cave drawing type animation. It, you know, looked very prehistoric with like a guy with a bow and arrow, and you could see like fire crackling in the background, that sort of thing. And then it came down, and the live stream's actually still going on right now, but it's just a black screen. Anyways, soon after that, IGN Turkey, of all places, leaked that this is a teaser for Far Cry Primal, the follow-up to Far Cry 4. And I don't know if you guys saw the image that they tweeted along with that announcement, but it actually looks a lot like Shangri-La from Far Cry 4. So, my question is, what do you guys think it is? Do we think it's a Far Cry? I'm pretty sure it's a Far Cry, but the main question, is this going to be a Far Cry game outright, or is this going to be kind of like Blood Dragon, like a kind of spin-off DLC type, the one-off thing, you know, not a full game, you know, kind of more just a spin-off, just like a one-shot, which is what I'm inclined to think. But a little bit of background before we get started is, Ethan, me and you actually talked about this before. Last year, soon after Far Cry 4, Ubisoft put out a survey asking people what would they like to see in a Far Cry game.
I brought this up, I think, to Jordan and Chris, like over
Yes, I
PS4 a
remember
couple
this.
nights, and I listed off everything because I looked it up. Remember? But keep going with your
Yeah.
point.
But yeah, so like in the survey, one of the top winning ones was Far Cry like dinosaurs. Like they said like a
Yeah,
dinosaur.
the way they
jungle
described
thing.
it, I think the way it was like worded, at least to me, it seemed like it was supposed to be like a Jurassic Park style like island with dinosaurs, not necessarily like period to dinosaurs or like some sort of
Well, like a
you know-
dinosaur island.
Yeah,
It'll
kind of
just
like
be
you have,
like-
you have guns and you're on an island full of dinosaurs or something like that.
People
You
would
know?
either say that's a Turok ripoff or an Ark ripoff.
Yeah.
I was actually not too keen on that option, to be honest.
No,
Well,
I'm not either. It sounds
regardless-
sounds too trendy, I think.
Yeah, go on. What were you gonna say? Ed?
Regardless of that, we do know that this is going to be something Far Cry related. So first off, what's the consensus with you guys as far as, do you think this is going to be Far Cry 5? Is this going to be our next disc release Far Cry? Or are we looking at a DLC like Blood Dragon?
Well,
I mean, I personally want to say that, like, I'm torn between it, because half me wants to say that it's going to be a DLC because they aren't afraid to go really out there with their DLC, hence, like Blood Dragon was with Far Cry 3, sorry. But Ubisoft hasn't really done anything this year, so maybe they are trying to pump out a big game real quick. It wouldn't surprise me.
the thing is it's just like I really want it to be a full title only because I think it's like awesome that they're going in like a kind of a sideways direction with it. I mean, it's most likely going to be a DLC. That makes sense, like Blood Dragon, because it makes sense also just like naturally, I don't know, going from the last Far Cry, you could like think about it like just like riding woolly mammoths and stuff like that. It all just seems like it like makes sense. But I can't really imagine. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna have to leave it up to them, but I really am curious what they're gonna like add, I guess, to the equation to like make it more fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I know what you mean because like from when I first of all, I do 100% think it's going to be a DLC, and the reason why is I'm a cynical asshole, and I don't think Ubisoft is willing to take that much of a risk.
I don't think they're ballsy enough for that.
No. But mostly, going along with what you were saying, pretty much where I'm at is like Blood Dragon was such a like interesting thing because it was like so different from 3. It was like way different, barring the mechanics, of course. But for me, it's like, yeah, like you said, prehistoric riding on mammoths and stuff. That would be pretty similar to Shangri-La, actually. And so
Well, the thing is, what it looks like they're doing, they could keep most of the assets from 4 in general.
yeah, I assume that's what they'll do. And my point being, though, is that I don't know necessarily what they're going to do to distinguish it in the same way that Blood Dragon was distinguished from 3. I would be interested to see how it is. The obvious thing being is that, supposedly, unless they want to be completely unrealistic, nobody will be speaking English or maybe not even any kind of language.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna bring it up that like I'm curious how like really like true to like certain elements they want to be. You know what I'm saying? Because like granted, like sure, like the last Far Cry was like kind of ridiculous, but like it was like it still like tried to maintain
still grounded.
semblance.
It's definitely still
it was still grounded. So like I'm curious, like I mean, because they could go balls to the wall and just like even in like a time period that doesn't make any sense, have like dinosaurs and shit and just cavemen and.
Well, I mean, Far Cry
I mean, like,
doing a like 80s VCR techno world and like what the fuck, that is nothing.
That was pretty balls to the wall. I mean,
yeah,
that was like,
awesome.
That was completely fictional too. This is like has still, it's supposed to have, I don't know if it's supposed to, but it sort of seems like it has some sort of semblance with real history, kinda, sorta.
Well,
you know what I mean?
They could go one of two directions with it. They could either have it be kind of like quote unquote accurate on like how it actually happened on Earth, or they could kind of make it like they could make their own kind of fiction out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say.
Okay, so here's my thoughts. Here's what first off, I too also think it's almost definitely going to be a DLC. Not even just because I hope it is, because I don't want to see Far Cry the series become like annualized like every freaking other thing Ubisoft does. Because I feel like they kind of take at least a little bit of time with Far Cry, and I think it pays off.
Yeah.
Anyways, but besides that, just from a business standpoint, it makes sense that they're going to make it a DLC. They don't have a whole lot coming out. All they really have is Syndicate for the rest of the year, and that's going against Fallout. That's going against Halo. You know, all of the big releases that are going to be coming out in the next couple months. And the taste of Unity is still in everybody's mouth. So like I don't really see that game selling a whole lot of units, but a lot of people do have Far Cry 4 because last year was so stale in terms of gaming that it makes sense that they would release $30 one-off DLC to like coincide with the holiday season and people getting new consoles and all that. And it also makes it could kind of create a tradition like, okay, every 2 or 3 years, here's a new on-disc like Far Cry 4, Far Cry 5. Like that's a little bit more grounded in reality. Not, I'm not trying to say Fallout or Far Cry is like some hyper-realistic game, but nothing that's out of this world. And then they do like these spin-off DLCs where they are completely just out there. And then in that fashion, and kind of going off the Shangri-La thing, I don't really see this being like outright a caveman game, like realistic. I see it kind of more mythical because the screenshot kind of looked that way.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm trying to say, like
it's and like wait, this is confirmed. Like it's like Far Cry, right?
Well, it's not confirmed, but like it's kind of confirmed because the IGN Turkey leaked it and then took it down.
Yeah.
Per Ubisoft's request, which
Yeah. It was so, I don't know, it wasn't maybe stupid, but it was kind of stupid that so many people in like the comments and things thought it was like Assassin's Creed.
Well,
that makes no sense.
No,
I don't think like
no,
that.
No.
That shit's
But I mean,
stupid.
you just look at the fact that
You're releasing it twice a year now, not even just every year.
Well, I mean, they did that
you're
last
a
year.
caveman assassin, and
Dude,
you
they did that last year.
assassinate
Semi-annual
the
life.
chieftain. What? I don't know.
No, it's
Kill the
like,
chieftain. He's the first Templar.
dude. The thing is like I would be laughing more if this wasn't Ubisoft, and that like is entirely possible. But here's the thing.
And it'll have a Watch Dogs tie-in too. So
Yeah, it's connected to Watch Dogs. You can hack caves.
That's the name of your dog companion, the watchdog.
A watchdog? Oh my god.
But I mean, okay, look back at this year. Ubisoft hasn't really had the strongest year. So the crew sucked apparently. Like I played the demo and it was terrible, but apparently the game itself sucked. They went through because Unity came out I know late last year, but they went through this entire year of like fixing the game and getting it playable, which apparently wasn't playable till the very beginning of this year. And the only other big release they have is Rainbow Six Siege, which is now pushed back to almost the very, very end of 2015. And early leaks coming out of that game of people who are in the closed beta is that is nowhere near ready for release. So chances are they're going to be pushing it back even more, which means next year is pretty stacked. Like for Ubisoft, they have probably Tom Clancy. They have The Division. They probably have Wildlands, the new Ghost Recon, For Honor.
Looks so good.
So it makes sense that they would try to put something in the end of this year to, kind of make back a little bit of 2015. So that's where I see them going. But I mean,
I actually thought of something I thought was kind of funny today. I was thinking about Ubisoft, and I thought of a pretty good like analogy for how they are. Do you ever have that like grandparent that thinks that they know what you want, and they buy you a bunch of shit, and like sometimes they're right, but a lot of times just like, Grandma, what the hell is this?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how Ubisoft is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, and like that, dude. I know. I totally agree. Ubisoft has become very corporate, but
They're kind of out of touch.
I will give them that a lot of the games they put out as UBR, like their indie studio, is freaking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
Child of Light, I heard was really good. Transistor, I didn't like, but I heard it was good. Grow Home, oh god, what was Valiant Hearts. They put out a lot of good games in that end, but I mean, that's 2% of Ubisoft.
That's what it is, though. It's like it reminds me of like Fox, the movie studio, because they have their bullshit that they put out, like Fantastic Four, and then every once in a while they'll have like some indie movie they scoop up some director.
Searchlight, Fox Searchlight.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah. So, anyways, time will tell. The stream is technically still going, so I'm expecting an announcement here pretty soon. But I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed
When did the stream start? When did it
Was it
earlier
start
today,
actually?
Yeah,
like
it was.
earlier this afternoon.
So that they're
Um,
definitely gonna announce something real soon, then, right? That's
Well,
like
I mean, they should
pretty
be.
sure. I mean, I don't know why they keep the live stream up
Because
for
they're
just
weird.
like
I don't
you
know.
indefinitely for such a long period. I don't.
It's because they're French.
Mwah! Guys, we can't do that. That's racist.
It's
Is it
French.
racist?
French is not a race.
Oh, yeah.
French is not human.
God.
Anyway, so. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I liked Far Cry 4. I liked it. I didn't love it, but we'll see. I like Blood Dragon a lot.
I mean,
Anyways.
here's the thing. Far Cry hasn't been bad, so
No, exactly.
maybe
Yeah,
it could
that's-
not end up like Assassin's Creed, where it could still
Well,
be a good thing that
Wasn't
happens.
2 kind of subpar? I didn't play it.
No,
but-
2
No, I
is
like
the
2.
best. No,
I
2,
like
2,
2.
no, 2 is considered by
Okay.
many to be the best. The one that a lot of people actually Far Cry was that what's called Far Cry Tactics?
I don't even know about that.
Like
one.
the weird number 2 is the weird one. It was like Far Cry 1.5, Far Cry Tactics.